First of all, I gotta give a huge shout out to Angelo for doing this for me. He is a lead painter at Carvana at only 22 years old. Now, before we get into the official start of the video, you guys wanna laugh? You wanna talk about bad prep? What the? How do you miss this? Sorry about that. I got distracted by the 3 inches of plastic hanging off the prep bumper. Anyway, Angelo saw the video where I reviewed the Temu ProLite, and he decided to send me out his ProLite, his real ProLite, to give a shot. So we're gonna paint this Traverse. It's got a bumper, new fender, and a door blend with his ProLite, but I'm not gonna throw the sealer on with his gun because I don't know, I just feel like that's disrespectful. I'm gonna throw it on with the Black Widow, then we'll get into the video. So here it is, the DeVilbiss ProLite. This is the clear coat edition, but we're gonna be using it for base and clear. I'm just gonna talk to you guys while we do this job with this gun, and I'll let you know what I think. It does say high efficiency, just like the Temu edition, TE25. This is the 1.2 cap and tip setup, and I'm real curious to see if this thing is a fire hose like the Temu ProLite. And as always, at the end of the video, we're gonna rate this gun out of a 1 to 10. First things first, let's see what the fan is like. All right, it's got a kind of small fan on it, but still a very nice pattern. It's a really thick pattern. It does seem like the gun's putting out a lot of material. Oh yeah, it is. It is putting out a lot of material. Just like the Temu edition. You know, it's kind of crazy. I never thought I'd be in a position like this where people who watch my videos would be willing to send me their guns just so I can review them and make a video. That's pretty freaking cool. I also never thought that I would find a community of people who were just as passionate about painting as I am. So that's also been really cool. Especially like this kid Angelo, you know, 22 years old, lead painter at a Carvana repair facility. Like, that's sick. 22 years old. And he didn't like get lucky or just start there by chance. You know, he told me his whole story. He definitely earned the position that he's in. And it just goes to show you that if you really want to do something, all you have to do is put in the work. And I know it sounds a lot easier than it really is, but it's the truth. You know, if you show people that you want to learn something, look at this. This gun is laying it out like glass. If you make your passion and your desire and your goals obvious enough to most people consistently, it's only a matter of time till you meet the right person that is able to help you achieve those goals. Like this kid Angelo, for example. You know, he started out as a prep guy, and his painter saw that he really wanted to learn. So his painter started putting a paint gun in his hand. And you know, it obviously wasn't because Angelo was doing a bad job prepping cars. It's obviously because he was taking initiative, he was asking questions, and he was showing interest. Now, if you guys follow me on Instagram, you saw what happened on the job I just sprayed. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, I'm gonna embarrass myself and show you right now. Now, truth be told, I have no clue how that happened. I noticed when I put my first coat of clear on that I had something going on the top of the fender, like the metallics didn't lay right. So I stopped right there, I baked it, and I threw a little more paint on the fender and on the quarter because I saw it happening on the quarter a little bit too. So obviously I knew it was gonna die back. That goes without say. Throwing anything on top of a fresh clear. You run the risk of getting reaction, but I knew that. So, you know, I really dusted that color on there. And after I threw the next coat of clear on, that's what I got. My best guess is it's got something to do with one of the silver tints or the filters in the cup I was using. I've never had that happen before, so I really don't have a clue. All right, so we're 2 coats in, and I'm absolutely loving this gun. I think these older guns put out more material because the paint manufacturing companies were less concerned about the transfer efficiency of those guns. I think that's something that's coming to be more concerned with in the newer guns. As material gets more expensive, shops want to save, and a great way to save is to use less paint, and a great way to sell paint guns is to sell paint guns that use less paint. But they're definitely not as fun as this gun. I mean, it's a DeVilbiss, so you know it's going to be a good gun. Look at that, it's putting down this drop coat absolutely perfectly without me even putting any effort in it. All I did was lower the pressure. Now, the panel was still a little wet when I put that on. That's why it looks blotchy, but when that dries, it's gonna be mint. One of the first things that I noticed when I picked this gun up was actually how light it was. I am so confused how paint guns have gotten heavier because I've never held a gun that's as light as this one. I may throw it on the scale after I finish basing out just to compare it to my newer gun, like my Supernova or my DV1. I can tell you right now, this is gonna be drastically lighter because the fact that I can feel the difference in my hand, it has to be a big difference in weight. This is the kind of gun you can just use all day. You can hold it up here in the sky all day and your shoulder's not gonna get tired. Even with the big cup on it, and this cup was full, it just feels very light. You know, I just realized that was my second coat. So I don't know why I did a drop coat. My head is not completely screwed on today. But anyway, so this is after our first coverage coat on this panel. You can see there's basically no modeling. There's very, very minimal, but you saw how wet I put that on. I wasn't concerned about the modeling or how the metallics in this color were gonna lay at all. And they laid pretty damn good. So we're going with our second coverage coat. I love how the trigger feels on this gun also. It takes like no effort at all to pull this trigger, which is awesome. And the gun it feels, I don't know, it just feels nimble. Sorry, I got a little excited. I like blue. I'm wondering if the smaller fan has something to do with how much material the gun puts out. Because I guess the material's more concentrated. I mean, that kind of makes sense to me. Let me know what you guys think. Am I crazy or maybe I'm onto something? And also, maybe the larger fans on the newer guns are what contribute to saving material. I can tell you one thing. I can't wait to throw the clear on with this thing. Something tells me it's gonna be a lot of fun. Okay, now we're ready for our drop coat. So I put my pressure down. The air control is kind of funny on this thing. When you close it all the way, it kind of like sucks it up. I don't know how to explain it. I feel like I can't get the pressure where I want it because of that. All right, well, that's what we're gonna have to go with. So first, let's check our fan with our low pressure. Very nice. Very nice. See how fine that is, even with the low pressure. I don't see any large droplets in that little spray out. I'm gonna finesse this drop coat for you guys. Since the panel's dry. And obviously we're doing a blend at the same time. Yeah, I really like the feel of the trigger on this gun. I feel like I have complete control over the trigger with no effort. Look at that. Look at that drop coat slash blend. That thing's gonna be beautiful. Now this stuff's still wet, but I'm gonna go ahead. I'm actually not using the one visit modifier. I kind of realized that with metallic colors, I was having problems with the blend when I used the one visit modifier. So I just stopped using it with metallic colors. But after a little bit of research, I figured out why I was having that problem. And it was because whenever you use that one visit modifier, you're supposed to use the reverse blend method, which I did not know. So I'm sure I could have used it, or I can use it with my blends, but I don't like to make my life more difficult than it has to be. And I generally don't reverse blend when I blend, so I'm not gonna force myself to do it. This panel was still a little wet also, but I'm really not concerned about it. I'm sure when this dries, that drop coat's gonna be perfect. All right, so don't mind the mess in here, first of all, but I just wanted to throw these two on the scale to see how drastic the difference in weight is, because the fact that I could feel it is very impressive. 628.9, and that's obviously with the adapter on it, and this one's got the adapter also. 532.1. That is a huge difference in weight. DeVilbiss, why are we getting heavier? Granted, this one has a gauge on it. I get it, but 532? 630, 100 grams more? And I mean, even like where you feel the weight with this gun, I feel the weight in the front of the gun. So it takes a lot of effort to hold it up. This just feels like it's just balanced so perfectly. Maybe that's what I was saying before when I was going like this. It just feels so good. As expected, this thing put down an absolutely flawless base coat. No shock or surprise there. Now we're gonna find out what kind of clear coat this thing could put down, and that blend is just immaculate. All right, I got everything full open, fan fluid, pressure, probably around 26 PSI. This thing puts out material. Angelo, you must know what you're doing if you're using this thing. That's all I can tell you. That looks beautiful. I think on my second coat, what I'm gonna do is turn the fan in and see how much of a track star I could turn this gun into. Now, what I mean by that is I'm gonna turn the fan in and I'm gonna see how fast I can move with this gun. Because I'm sure if I close that fan and I go a little closer to my panel, I could pretty much move as fast as my arm can move. And that thing's gonna lay a mirror. That's what I was trying to do on that first coat there on the door. But it didn't work out because the fan I think the fan was too wide open and the material wasn't concentrated enough. So that's what we're gonna try to do on the next coat. All right, I got the fan one turn in. I'm only gonna try to do this on the door. It's gonna be kind of hard to do and record, but I'm gonna give it my best shot. I'm gonna start out a little slow But once I lock in, we're gonna be flying. Beautiful. Yeah, this gun lets you work, man. If you want to move with this gun, it's definitely not a problem. You turn that fan in a little bit. Go a little closer. And this gun just freaking eats the panel. It definitely uses a lot of material too, though, I'll tell you that. All right, now I'm going to slow down on this fender a little bit and try to glass this thing out. This way I could tell you guys what I think of the finishing capabilities of the gun. I mean, right off the bat, that's a DV1 finish right there. Let's let all this flow out a little bit, and then we'll come back in, see our results, and we'll rate this gun from a 1 to 10. All right, so we let everything flow out for about 5 minutes. This thing came out absolutely beautiful. That finish is almost perfect. You can definitely see the finish between that and the door. Although, don't get me wrong, the door's still got a great finish as well, but it just doesn't have as much depth. Probably because it has a little less material, being that I wanted to see how quick I can move with this thing. It still gave us a solid finish for sure. And our bumper, I also moved kind of quick on this, but you can see it came out beautiful. Now, for the rating of the gun, this gun, I gotta give a 9.6. This gun, to me, is almost the perfect gun because it allows you to work. I wouldn't say this is the best gun for a beginner to use because it's a gun you can definitely get in trouble with pretty freaking quick, just like the Temu edition. But the finish on this was way better than the Temu edition. Way better. It's definitely one of the best production paint guns I have ever used. I don't think there's a single gun that I own that can paint a panel as fast as this gun can. And give us a finish like this. Anyway, that's gonna be it for this one, guys. If you enjoyed the video, got any value out of it, or if you were entertained, if you could, drop a like, comment, maybe even subscribe, or hit that hype button. It helps out the channel a bunch, and I really appreciate it. Until the next time, peace.